Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she goes, oh, girl, you gotta hear this one. A man was arrested for running a theme park, and when they said, where's your license? He said, my dog ate it. Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Girl, you gotta hear this one. Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, you'll never guess what's true with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Girl, you gotta hear this one.
Hey everyone, it's Squid. Welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing? Hopefully my internet holds out. It came back and now it's actually back. And we figured out the sound thing from the last stream. So now I do have sound. Y'all can hear me, right? It's been a Monday on a Wednesday. Let's put it that way. The little is set up in the living room. Had to clean up after a popsicle mess. Lord help me. Lord help me. I did send Spawn the link, talk to him earlier in the day. When he gets here, muted. Ha, you're funny. Ha, ha, ha. He has the link, but as always, he's, a busy man. And with the time change, he is a busy man. I am going to put my Venmo and stuff at the bottom of the screen, just in case anybody cares, because next month is my birthday month, so I might do a little grifting. Sorry if you hate that. Apologize, but I am a YouTuber at heart. I'm a bad grifter, but it is what it is. Jeffrey, glad you made it over. Janet, how are you? Miss Tammy P, how are you? Hazel Money Angle, how are you? I love your picture, by the way. How did you get your Muppet to look so good? Mine was made by somebody, and thank goodness that they made it and it looks acceptable, because when I made mine, it looked absolutely ridiculous. You look so good. Like, yours looks like so sweet. It looks like a real person and like sweet person. Mine, I looked like I just rolled out of bed and it was like, hey. I looked like if Bert and Ernie had a love child. It was not a good look. But I did put the hair up in between streams because, All right, we're going to get straight into this because this is your birthday's in September. I'm at the end of September. So, but I have a big one coming up. It's 40. So, it is what it is. All right, we are going to get straight into this. Hopefully my internet holds out, because my internet decided to die and then came back. It died, but it didn't die. If you know what I mean. All right. We left off in the middle of the incredibly boring, I'm not going to lie, it's incredibly boring topic of crash avoidance systems. And they're talking about crash avoidance systems in fixed wing aircraft. But the fixed wing aircraft was not the problem in this situation. The fixed wing aircraft was coming in for a landing. It didn't do anything wrong. It couldn't get out of the way. It likely never saw the helo coming. The helo was the problem in this situation for whatever reason. But they're talking about a system that in the last stream we found out is not installed in the Black Hawk because it is only for aircraft that have a climb rate of 1,500 feet per second, which is too fast for a helo. So I'm not quite understanding where this line of questioning is relevant. And it's the technical circle jerk where they make themselves sound good, that this system is great, this system is as helpful as this, is that. This system has nothing to do with the actual problem at hand. So yeah, and I honestly have not heard anything about that. I've been doing stuff for everything else. Oh, and the people that follow What the Hails that were not on my last stream, I am looking into comparing documents to see when we say, oh, that sounds familiar, or someone's like, that sounds like it was made by AI. I'm looking in to see if we can prove any of that and comparing documents to see if they were written by the same person or things like that, trying to do a deep dive. It is hundreds of documents. So if y'all have any tips or things that have been bugging you, whereas like this didn't add up, I thought this was a lie, text me the document that email me the document at squidproco24@gmail, and I will look into it. It'll give me another place to start because I have it's hundreds of documents. So I'm kind of a little overwhelmed with it. But as soon as I get some stuff going, we're going to do some comparison, and we're going to make a spreadsheet of all the places where I think that inconsistencies lie. And then maybe I'll give it to Jeremy. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he knows about a lot of these, but if they're all in one spot, then Randy can just go boom, 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 boom. And not that I also think that they used some of Randy's case law to make themselves sound smarter. And now I just need to keep looking at that. So if y'all have any tips or things that you've been thinking about that you want me to look into, please email me and let me know. And that'll give me a place to start. Because right now it's over 200 documents to compare. And it's all a little overwhelming. And that's state documents, federal documents, whatever. So we'll figure it out. But let's get to this and let's get going. I have this at 1.35 speed. If it's too slow, I will speed it up. If it's too fast and we need to slow it down, we'll manage.
To reduce their vertical rate, or it might tell them to climb or descend. And as the maneuver continues, TCAS continues to update itself once a second, and it can change its mind. It can reverse the direction it tells the pilot to perform that escape maneuver. So for example, it could, if the pilot's being instructed to climb, it could reverse one time into a descent based on the evolving situation. When the aircraft have passed each other, past the closest point of approach, TCAS would enunciate clear of conflict to the flight crew, which would terminate the RA, the resolution advisory, and that's the basic operation. I guess one other important note is that if both aircraft have TCAS installed, those maneuvers are coordinated between the two aircraft. So one aircraft you think is the classic hallway problem. You're approaching somebody in the hallway, you both maneuver. You don't want that with aircraft. So one will pick going up, the other will pick going in the downward direction, or be instructed actually to go in the downward direction. Are there further questions?
No, that was a good explanation, basic explanation of how TCAS works. So that's good. One of the issues that we talked about earlier was the prevalence of non-pertinent alerts or nuisance alerts. And could you describe, Dr. Olson, what is a nuisance alert?
I would say that this is a very difficult topic, both with the pilot community and the design community, to precisely define a nuisance alert. It would be one that is not desired by the flight crew, although that being said, quite often the flight crew is not aware of the criticality of the situation or the maneuver of the other aircraft. So really, post hoc, you can determine whether the alert would have been necessary or not. Operational experience shows that up to half of the resolution advisories are caused by 500-foot IFR, instrument flight rules, or VFR, visual flight rule separation. They're separated by 500 feet vertically in the National Airspace System. And that's standard, that's deemed safe. TCAS vertical alerting criteria is 650 feet at lower altitude. So every time a TCAS equipped aircraft comes within closer proximity of a visual flight rules aircraft that's operating 500 feet below, a resolution advisory will be generated. It's also the case that many airports have what we call parallel runways. This is not the case at DCA as in this accident. But for example, if you've flown into San Francisco or Denver or Atlanta or Chicago, there are runways in the same direction, sometimes with fairly low levels of separation that will be inside of TCAS alerting criteria, which would generate alerts. So at San Francisco, for example, where the runways are approximately 750 feet horizontally separated, that's well within the TCAS alerting thresholds, generating alerts that are unwanted by the pilots. But quite often the pilot is not aware at the time whether it's a nuisance RA or not.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to transition briefly to Dr. Kasner. What is the effect of a high rate of nuisance alerts as far as the human ability to respond to an alert?
Well, we become desensitized to the alert. The alert ceases to be an alert. There's the likelihood that the alert is going to tell me something I don't already know in my mind just deteriorates. You get what's called the cry wolf effect, right from the ASOP.
I highly doubt that.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go to.
That's what I was saying yesterday about these nuisance. When it's like that crying wolf. Like when somebody complains about the same thing over and over and over again, and you constantly are turning off this alert because it's like, yeah, whatever, that happens all the time. That happens all the time. And then it's like it happens, and you're like, yeah, that happens all the time. And it's the one time when you actually needed it. And I know pilots are supposed to know the airports that they're flying into. However, can you get so busy as a pilot that Chicago has parallel runways? DC does not. So could there be a way to design the TCAS system where it knows what airport you're landing at, and if it knows like a setting that says parallel runways, and you can hit it and it won't give you anything? It seems like the people should have thought about this. People much smarter than me should have thought about how to do this years ago. It's 2025. TCAS has been around since 1992. Like you would have thought we would have built something like this into the system, whether it's relevant for this accident or not. We should have developed something to figure out this problem years ago.
To Mr. Suchi, do you have any data on what percentage of TCAS alerts would be considered nuisance alerts or could be considered nuisance alerts?
I could compare with the system that we've produced recently within our TCA, a TCAS 2 replacement. It's called ACAS XA, Airborne Collision Avoidance System XA. And its primary objective was to reduce so-called nuisance alerts and specifically tackle issues such as IFR, VFR interactions, as well as the 1,000-foot level off with an aircraft traversing above. Those are some primary use cases of what we typically hear of as nuisance alerts. And as far as the performance of ACAS XA versus that of TCAS 2, XA has reduced the number of alerts by over 65%. So a lot of these alerts would be the monitor vertical speed or your adjust vertical speed enunciations. But within that class of 65%, the deviation causing alerts, the climbs and descends, they were reduced by 35% with ACAS XA, meanwhile maintaining safety and actually improving safety by 20%. So it's hard to say a number on nuisance alerts because it's very subjective, like Dr. Olsen mentioned, but I can only do that comparison of what system to sort of system performs.
Okay, thank you. And keep the mic because you're next up. I want to ask about, so the result of nuisance alerts is kind of what Dr. Kasner described as the cry wolf effect of it goes off too often, so it doesn't get we don't pay attention to it. And I do know that you do have data on TCAS resolution advisory compliance in the National Airspace System. And can you share that with us?
Sure. And I think, again, if we're going to talk about compliance and RAs, we need to break them into some categories. There are RAs that require only sort of reduction in vertical speed, where you maintain the direction you're flying. And that's the majority of the RAs that we see in the airspace. And they make up about 62% of the RAs we see. And we see a high compliance in that respect, over 90%, because, you know, pilots are sort of doing and following the direction of what they're already doing. When we parse things out into a segment of the climb descends, you start getting variability in your compliance. Climbs and descends make about 20% of the RAs we see in the airspace. We see about 65% compliance for climbs and about 70% compliance with descend RAs. Unfortunately, when you start getting lower into the approach or final segment of arrival, below 2,000 feet, you see about a 30% compliance when you're with your descend RAs.
Can you tell us why?
I'm sorry, that's the climb RAs.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Why is the compliance so low in that environment? Because that's the critical phase of flight.
So in the United States, if the pilot is able to make visual acquisition of the aircraft or threat aircraft, they're able to make a determination of see and avoid and safe flight, and they can ignore the RA and continue doing the operation safely as they determined. And so I can only sort of speculate in that respect as to compliance, and I can't go beyond that.
Well, don't speculate, but
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to. How could
I
or how
hate
does?
that
And we're going to
answer.
talk more about it.
I hate that answer. Whether it's an accurate answer, he's not lying. I believe him. The way he said it, how uncomfortable he was saying it, I believe he's telling the truth. I just don't like the fact that is what he had to say. Like, see and avoid. I would rather trust instruments rather than pilots. No offense to pilots, but pilots can be cocky and stupid. It's just like doctors, the book smarts and stuff like that. You have a lot to pay attention to, and sometimes it doesn't always work out in your favor. It's one of the, you have alerts going off 70 or ignored 70% of the time. That's what I just heard. And ignoring those alerts, see and avoid. Well, you can see how well see and avoid worked out for the helo. Be it, yes, they had night vision goggles and all the other stuff that they had to deal with. But you can see where the general flying public would not be. And this is one of the reasons I do this, because this is professionals. What's supposed to happen and what does happen. I'm the general flying public. Yes, I have some knowledge on aviation. I was an aviation electronics tech in the United States Navy. However, I'm currently a member of the flying public. And to know that pilots have alerts 75% of the time and ignore them does not make me very comfortable. Just going to put that out there. And if the flying public is not very comfortable, airlines and pilots got to figure that shit out. Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment on that helo, and they couldn't get out of the way. And the CRJ was 1, bigger, and 2, had the right of way. Just saying.
ACAS in a minute, but how does ACAS would it improve the pilot response rate to resolution advisories? And maybe that's a good one for Dr. Olson.
I think that in over time, we'll be able to determine that. If the assumption is that the high RA rate is what resolution advisory rate is what is driving non-compliance, then we would certainly expect it to go down as we reduce the number of overall alerts. If that is not the correct hypothesis, if there are other reasons, then it may not have as big a difference.
So I think you might have said that backwards. Like compliance will improve or increase.
Yes.
Okay.
We would expect it to.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Flynn to talk about TCAS functionality.
I'm going to add something really quick to that topic. From the perspective of ATAS, we saw a significant improvement in compliance with the pilots because the system was deemed more trustworthy. So when we only provide traffic alerts, I know that's different than a resolution advisory, but the improved performance that results in the system being quieter, so that when it does go off, it has a startle effect almost, in the sense of, oh wow, I really got to listen now. And in our observation, the human factor studies that we did and in the field, people listen more as a result of that trust that is built in the system. At least we've observed that over the last 5 to 10 years.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Quincy. And Mr. Flynn.
Thank you. Mr. Grease, could you go over your presentation on TCAS, the symbology, and the different resolution and advisories and traffic advisories?
Sure.
That would be 9 Air G.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to provide a presentation on Airborne Traffic Alert and Collision Avoidance System, or TCAS. At the outset, I want to state that Collins Aerospace is dedicated to continuing to help advance aviation safety and is committed to assisting the NTSB with their investigative process. Next slide, please. So TCAS provides a backup separation assurance service secondary to air traffic.
Hey guys, it's happening again. We're going to get rid of my yep. No, it's me. I think we're gonna actually put an end to this stream because my internet is out again. And this is effing frustrating. So we're gonna try this again tomorrow. We will see what happens then. Yeah, my doppelganger. Oh, look, I'm back. We will try this one more time with feeling. I'm going to see if I can get out of here. I hate this freaking internet. They said they sent me a text today saying they're doing maintenance tonight or tomorrow night. So they must know that there's an issue that came up because this is the first time this has happened in a month. So, yeah, yay. Let's try this again. Let me enter. There we go. Whee! Oh, yeah. Bummer. I'm here. So it's back. I don't know why we keep doing this stupid crap. This is the first time in a month that I've had issues with my internet. So, but they sent me a text this morning saying that they were doing maintenance from like 1 to 4 a.m. Either the 27th or the 28th. So tonight. So they must know about an issue that they're just not willing to share. So, but stick around. Yep, I don't think your outs are going to be long, but it's hard. Yeah, it's so frustrating. And it's being paranoid. It's being paranoid. You just upgraded your internet to a gig and saved $50 a month. It's not the speed. It's the internet as a whole. Where's your pants? We're gonna run this and then I'm gonna go do mama duties real quick because the little came in here with only a diaper butt and her shorts are somewhere in the house. So I have to go find my daughter's pants. Toddlers, I gotta love them. Won't get undressed when it's bath time. Won't get undressed when it's time to go potty or change her diaper, but will leave her clothes in random parts of the house. Yeah, you might. I did get an email or a text message from the lady at AT&T the other day that the 5G box actually they actually have service at our house now. So if whatever they're doing tonight doesn't fix the problem, we've been good for a month. We've been good for a month, or 3 weeks, ever since they fixed that issue with the fuse that was intermittent. It's been fine. So I'm going to start this, and then I'm going to go find my 3-year-old pants, because luckily she still has a diaper on, but her pants are somewhere in the house. I'm speechless. Sometimes you just don't know what to say. Where's your pants? Angel, where are your pants? I just get no. The same problem with my shorts. Make sure it's just after they brought that up. It is. This didn't keep playing. I stopped it as soon as it had I had problems. And then immediately went to my phone. So I will be right back, guys. We will play
Stakeholders, the MOPS are ultimately approved by the
but I will slow it down to 1 speed, 1.15, so it's a little slower.
FAA, and in this case, for the incident aircraft, TSO C119B. When a company like Collins develops a TCAS, it is required to implement the MOPS to ensure that its TCAS functions consistently and is interoperable across aircraft and airspace. The main function of TCAS is to track nearby aircraft and issue traffic advisories and resolution advisories. Traffic advisories, or TAs, provide situational awareness of nearby aircraft. Resolution advisories, or RAs, provide recommended maneuvers to increase or maintain separation from other aircraft. To provide TAs and RAs, TCAS obtains information from neighboring aircraft and analyzes that information based on its own internal collision avoidance logic. So first, a TCAS on the own aircraft would transmit an interrogation to another aircraft. And then that TCAS would receive a response from the other aircraft via that aircraft's transponder. Based on this response, TCAS calculates the range to and relative altitude of the other aircraft. TCAS also receives bearing information to the other aircraft through the own aircraft's directional antenna. Next slide, please. So TCAS then analyzes this information about other aircraft's range and altitude to determine whether the other aircraft will invade the protected area around the own aircraft within a prescribed period. TCAS repeats this analysis every second. These protected areas are represented by the purple and green rings on this slide. Purple represents the threshold area for traffic advisories, and green represents the threshold area for resolution advisories. Next slide, please. In addition to providing TAs and RAs, the TCAS system includes a traffic display. On the CRJ700, this display appears on the multifunction display. To be clear, the display on this slide is just an example. It is not reflective of any of the display or data related to this incident. The pilots can set the range of the display to either 5, 10, 20, or 40 nautical miles. Further away aircraft appear as empty blue diamonds. As aircraft get within 6 nautical miles and 1,200 feet, the blue diamond will fill in. This is a visual tool for the pilots to indicate the aircraft is getting closer.
Hey guys, it's my internet. It is not YouTube this time. My internet is my Eero box is red. So it is my internet. They sent me a text that they were doing maintenance tonight between 1 and 4 a.m. I should have known that that was going to be that I should have known that meant that there was going to be issues. I should have known that, hey, we're going to do maintenance means we found a problem. But here's the thing. At least they found the problem before I did. So at least they found a problem and they recognized it and they were going to do maintenance before all of a sudden we had a problem. But I am going to call it a day. At least we made it through the first stream. At least we got those documents, most of those documents done. However, tomorrow I am going to be doing a stream on Hannah Dugan. If my internet works, the judge dropped a 27-page order and decision. You know, this judge in Wisconsin, she likes to talk. She likes to write. But it's 27 pages, and it will let Judge Hannah Dugan know whether she is going to have to face the consequences for her actions moving forward, or if her case is dismissed. And I'm hoping that I'm going to read through this document here in a few minutes, and I am going to be excited with the fact that you're not going to get these charges dropped just because you're a judge and you can't hide behind judicial immunity. So I will probably set that up for about 2 o'clock tomorrow. I want to do some stuff in the morning, but we will see. We will see what happens tomorrow. So it says my internet is back. However, that being said, I'm not going to chance it this last time. Kind of 3 strikes, I'm out with today's streams. I'm kind of at my frustration point with my internet right now. But I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me and dealing with my internet issues. I'm going to try to go edit this video and hope I don't screw up my mic settings. I'm not sure if I screwed it up or the Chrome update from overnight screwed it up, but we're going to hope that everything works out as planned. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye, guys.